Everybody, it's Jack here at 360 Fitness, and I'm not going to make very many people happy today. I'm going to be talking about the G word. I'm going to be talking about gluten. So in particular, a study that was made famous a couple weeks ago on PubMed and brought to my attention by Alan Aragon. And what the study was, really a collection of data about gluten sensitivity, celiac, and also self-diagnosis of people that say they do have gluten sensitivity all the way up to a full-blown celiac. So cool thing is, they did a conclusion. Let me just read it over. Celiac disease prevalence in the United States is approximately only 1% of the active population. Non-celiac gluten sensitivity, so gluten intolerance, is anywhere between 0.6 to 6% at the maximum. The estimate should be viewed to caution due to its lack of objective diagnostic criteria and high degree of self-reporting. And also, to cap that, one study found that 1 in 4 subjects self-reported gluten sensitivity, gluten intolerance, or full-blown celiac. In sum, the majority of people who think that they have gluten sensitivity might not. So avoiding gluten will not necessarily help any of the symptoms that they are experiencing. Approximately 94 to 99% of the human population on planet Earth can tolerate gluten just fine. So this is where it comes back to it, that I'm not going to make a lot of people happy. A lot of times people will, I shouldn't say blame, but blanket their issues on gluten, saying that they have, gluten sensitivity, gluten intolerance, they have bad guts, they have bad digestion, a whole bunch of different things, and then gluten is the culprit for a lot of their weight gain, their fat gain, just overall poor performance. Where this study is concluding and affirming something that we've been talking about for years and years and years at 360 Fitness, that it's probably not gluten itself, the wheat protein, that it's probably the food choice, the overconsumption of calories, the little to no activity, and a combination of those guys all put together. So in the end, this study is affirming that gluten is not like the killer and the end-all and be-all and kind of the disaster that's plaguing North American society. Same as that sugar isn't as bad as people are saying. It's shitty foods, bad food choices, and living a non-healthy lifestyle. I really wanted to touch base on this, is that I don't want to shame anybody or call anybody out, but literally 25% of the people studied on here say that they have gluten sensitivity and gluten intolerance, so self-diagnosis, and where they found out was less than 0.6 to 6% people actually had any of the criteria to establish a diagnosis. So really, when it comes down to it, probably 1 in 20 to 1 in 25 people think that they have gluten sensitivities and gluten intolerances where they do not. So I am doing a call to action, and I want you guys to figure out which foods are actually triggering it, and not that gluten is in it. I would probably classify it, maybe it's the food group, maybe it's whether it's processed, refined, or maybe it's just overconsumption of that food. So do some more homework on yourself. Try not to just avoid gluten entirely. There's probably a bigger issue at play here. So take action onto it, guys. And again, I'm not shaming anybody on this, but gluten is not the necessary evil that is going to harm you. It's probably the bad food choices. So again, guys, take a look at this study. It's on PubMed. I know there is a paid subscription to it, but there's a whole bunch of free access to it out there. But Alan Aragon was the one that made this public to me, so big shout out to him. This video is going too long, but again, guys, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, hit me up. Talk to you soon.